Hi again. I just figured I'd, break this up into pieces because not everybody wants to listen to me drone on for an hour about the ridiculousness of trying to make money using options. So this is part 2 of the call option preschool, which is again just the very basic mechanics. We're talking mechanics. We're not talking trading strategy. I'm telling you again, don't do this. Don't do this. You will lose your shirt, your pants, your underwear, your socks, everything. You will not just lose your shirt, you will lose it all. Okay? I'm telling you, I am not kidding. They say if you follow the rules, all the people that teach you trading will tell you, well, if you just follow the rules, you'll make money. And you know what? That is absolutely true. But you know what your ability is to trade the rules? It's about 0, okay? And that's because you have things going on in your subconscious, you have things going on in your amygdala, you have things going on in your limbic system, and it's way too much for me to go into right now because I still want to get back to this, which is, what happens with the call option. But suffice it to say that you are hardwired to lose money trading. You are. I don't care how disciplined you are. I consider myself a pretty disciplined person. I've always been really disciplined, and so I thought, okay, I can do this. I had teachers tell me, you're going to make every mistake in the book. I'm going to tell you which mistakes you're going to make, and then you're going to go make them. And I told myself, no, not me. I'm not making those mistakes. I'm disciplined. Well, guess what? I made every single one of the mistakes my teacher told me about, and I made them repeatedly, okay? Because we are hardwired to lose. Now, back to the call options. We were talking about what happens as a call option approaches expiration, okay? The thing is, it gets to be worth less and less money if the stock price is below the strike price. So remember, if we have a call option with a strike price of $75, we bought it 3 months ago, and now it's about to expire and the stock price is at 70, it expires in 4 days, that call option's not worth much. Okay, it might be worth a nickel per contract share, which means if you sold that call option, you could get $5 for it, which wouldn't even cover your commissions. So basically, you're out. You're $675. So your maximum risk is what you paid per contract share. In this case, you paid $6.75 per contract share. So it's $6.75 times 100. That's your maximum risk. They can't force you, okay? They can't force you to buy the shares for $75. That's not what this is about, okay? This is about you having the right to buy the stock at 75, not the obligation. When you purchase a call option, your maximum loss is what you pay for the stock option, okay, the call option. So your max loss is $675. Now we talked in the last video about how much you could make, 122% if the stock went to, say, $90. But what's the maximum amount you can lose? Well, if you lose all of it, that's 100% loss. Okay? $675 down the drain. Poof! Gone to the market maker. Yep, that's right. You can lose 100%. All right? That's why you don't do this. Don't do this. This is just for your education. I don't recommend trading. Okay? Now, I want to go back and talk a little bit about this generator again, because it's going to help me explain how you make money on call options. All right? We do not trade options because we want to exercise them. That's not the deal. We trade options because we want to buy and sell those options. Okay? We're not dealing in stock. You know what we're dealing in? Wrong pen again. We are buying and selling the rain checks. Okay? That's the call option. That's what we're buying and selling. I have no interest in trading the stock. None. Okay? If you're just buying and selling call options, you don't care about buying the stock. In fact, the reason you do this is because you don't want to buy the stock. Okay? The reason you do this is because you think you can make more money on the call option because you can make 122% or more. I mean, you can make 500% on a call option if the stock goes the right way. All right, you can, but you can also lose a lot. And that's what we're going to talk about now. So, I want to talk about the things that go into the price of a call option. Now, if you know anything about stocks, you know they go up and down all day long, assuming they don't get, halted or anything, which happens. It'll happen to you too. It will. Eventually, if you trade, it will. But that's a different topic. Okay, so back to this rain check. We have the generator that goes for $300. It's selling for $50 off, and it's on sale for $250, but they ran out, so the person gave us a rain check so that anytime between now and the third week of November, we can go in and buy that generator for $250. Okay? Now, what is that rain check worth? Next week, what's it worth? Next week, the regular price goes back into effect. So that generator is going to be $300. And you have a little piece of paper that says that you can buy it for $250. All right? That check, that rain check, is worth how much? $300, but you get to buy it for $250. So that rain check is actually worth $50 if you were to exercise that rain check right now. Okay? The thing is, though, this rain check doesn't expire until November. What might happen to the price of that generator between now and November? Well, let's see. Hurricane season is coming, and people are going to want generators. When that storm's coming in, their generator broke down. They're going to want to go buy a new one. Is supply and demand? It's possible the price is going to go up. All right. So let's say there is a hurricane coming. It's going to be here in a week. It's I don't know. It's August. It's 2 months from now, because today is June 18th, 2014. So let's say a couple months have gone by. A hurricane is coming in. Generators are just getting blown out the door. No pun intended. They're getting bought up like crazy. And, the free market, it'll mark those babies up. That's just what the market does, okay? You would do it too if you were selling generators. So what do you think happens to the price? Let's say it goes to $350. So here comes the hurricane. And the price of the generator, because they're in such high demand, is now $350. Now, what's that rain check worth to you? If you could go and buy the generator for $250, you could turn around and sell that generator right back into the market, eBay or whatever, I don't know, your neighbor who has a generator that broke. You could turn around and sell that generator into the market for $350. What are you going to make on that? You are going to make $100, right? That's what that rain check is worth. That rain check is worth $100 because you can make that much money if you exercise it right then in August when the hurricane's coming. Okay? Now, let's say there is no hurricane coming. There's no hurricane coming, but the generator company is going out of business, and they are no longer going to be able to provide the lifetime guarantee. If your generator breaks, the warranty is no longer any good because the company's broke. How much do you think that generator might be? The price might go down, right? People don't want to buy a generator if there's no warranty. So instead of $300, maybe Home Depot starts selling that generator for $250 just to get it out of the store, because they know people aren't really going to want it. You know, they might be willing to pay $250 for it because they're going to assume that it's probably not going to break. We hope. But in that case, how much is your rain check worth? Well, if you wanted, you could go use your rain check and you could buy that $250 generator for $250. Okay, so your rain check is worth what? Nothing. Your rain check is worth nothing. Okay, zero. So you make no money if you exercise that rain check when the price of the generator is $250. All right. Now, let's say it's even worse. Let us say that there's a recall on the generator. Okay, it's got a faulty switch. It's got to be taken back to some repair place so that the generator company can fix the generator, and Home Depot is still selling them, but there's a recall on. Home Depot wants to move the generator, so what are they going to sell them for? Well, since there's a recall, they're going to sell the generators for $200 because they know that the people are going to have to buy them and then go get them repaired. Okay, who wants a generator they have to immediately go get repaired because there was a recall notice? Nobody. But they might want it if it's $100 off of the regular retail price, right? So Home Depot now has these, and they're selling them for $200. How much is your rain check worth? Well, you could take your rain check in, and you could say, I want to use my rain check. I want to buy this generator for $250. Which is equivalent to your strike price of your stock. But they're selling them for $200. Do you want to use that rain check and pay $250? No. No. Okay. So what's your rain check worth? Again, your rain check is not worth anything. Okay. Now, this little calculation that I just did will tell you how much your rain check is in the money on any given date. Between now and November, the third week in November, when this rain check or this call option expires, you can figure out how much that rain check or that call option, if that's what we're looking at, is in the money. Okay? It's called in the money. In the money. All right, so getting back to the stock, back to the Home Depot stock, we have a stock that is trading for $80, and we are buying a call option for a $75 strike price. So your call is the November 75 call. That's the expiration. That's the strike price. How much is that call option in the money? Okay, it is in the money by an amount that we would receive if we exercised it and closed the trade right now. So if we exercise this call option, we would pay $75 for the stock, and we would immediately go and sell the stock back into the market, and that's where this 8,000 comes into play. Okay, it's about $80 a share. We buy it for $7,500. So this is, we would make $500 divided by 100 shares. This stock option is $5 in the money. Okay, this does not take into account the $6.75 that we paid for the call. That's not an issue when we're determining how much it's in the money. The price of the call option helps us figure out where our break-even stock price is. Remember, our break-even was at $81.75, which was the $75 strike price plus what we paid for the call option, which was $6.75 per contract share. Okay, that's where that came from. $6.75. Okay, so right now today, with Home Depot trading at about $80, this $75 call option is $5 in the money. Now you might be asking, if this thing is only worth $5, why do I want to pay $6.75 for the call option? Where does that extra $1.75 come from? If it's worth $5, if it's $5 in the money right now, if we exercise it, then what's the deal with this $1.75? What is that? Okay, that is what is called extrinsic value. Money, if something's in the money, that is intrinsic value. Okay, that's what it's worth. Intrinsic value, that's how much you can get if you exercise it right now. Intrinsic value, that's the amount that it is in the money. The intrinsic value is $5. It is $5 in the money. That call option has $1.75 of extrinsic value. Okay, extrinsic value. And that is also known as time value. The thing is, that extra $1.75 it covers the amount that the stock might move between now and when it expires in November. You're willing to pay that extra $1.75 of extrinsic value because you think the stock is going to $90 between now and November, and you think you're going to make $825 on it, like we discussed in the last video. That is why you are willing to pay $6.75. Okay, so that's extrinsic value, and the extrinsic value can depend on a few things. It can depend on how volatile the stock is. If the stock is super volatile, then maybe more people think it's going to go to 90. There might be people that think it's going to go to 110. So if the stock is highly volatile, it's possible that it's going to have even more extrinsic value. Instead of $1.75, if somebody out there thinks the stock is going to go to 110, the extrinsic value could be $3. In which case, if the extrinsic value is $3 and the intrinsic value right now is $5, it's $5 in the money, what's it going to cost you for that call option? It's not going to cost you $6.75, it's going to cost you $8 per contract share. That means you're going to pay $800 for one call contract. Okay? So again, volatility can affect the price of the of the time value, or the extrinsic value. Another thing that can affect the stock, or the call option price, is the number of months to expiration. This $1.75, that's June, July, August, September, October. That's 5 months out, okay? You're paying $1.75 for 5 months of time, and you're hoping that that stock is going to go up during the next 5 months. Hopefully it'll get to that 90 at some point, and you'll be able to sell the call. You're not going to exercise the call, remember? You're just going to sell the call, okay? We'll get to that later. This is very complicated. You may have to watch this 5 or 6 times. I don't know. Okay, so time to expiration. Now, we're looking at one here that expires in November of this year. What if we are looking at a call option that expires, and I'm going to actually look one up that expires in January, okay? January of 2015. If we look at the option that expires, the $75 strike price call option that expires in January, that one is going to cost, let's do it here, January. That one's not $6.75, it is $7.35. Okay? Now it's a little bit more. Why is it a little bit more? You're giving that stock a little bit more time to go up. Okay? Instead of going to 90 by November, that stock could go to 100 by January. So instead of the $6.75, you're paying an extra 60 cents in premium, okay, time value, because you think the stock might go up even more. So you're buying a little bit more time, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive to buy that option, that call contract. If you have less time to expiration, you're giving that stock less time to move. So your extrinsic value, what you're going to pay for time value, is going to be less. So your call option will be a lot cheaper if you're buying one. Let's look, for instance, at June. Let's look at the call option that expires in this week, actually. It's this week, 2 days from now. The $75 strike price call right now is going for June, expires in 2 days, $5.25. Okay? What do you notice? It's cheap, right? So the stock is about, again, the stock's about $80. This strike price, this is for the $75 call. This strike price, how much is it in the money? If the stock is at 80 and you're looking at the $75 call, if you were to exercise it today, you would pay 75 and you would sell it for 80. So again, it's the same no matter which expiration date you're looking at. If you're looking at the $75 call and the stock is at 80, it's $5 in the money. Okay? So what is the extrinsic value on this one that expires in 2 days? It's $5.25 minus 5. You're paying 25 cents per contract share times 100 shares. So it's $25. Hoping that that stock goes up in the next 2 days. Okay, the chances of that happening are, I don't know, I haven't looked at the chart. You know, it could happen. You can make a couple bucks, a good couple dollars on that call option. I don't know. But the chances that it's going to move a lot within the next couple days is not as high as the probability that it's going to move during the next few months. So your time value, your extrinsic value, is very small. So you don't pay very much for it, but it's going to expire pretty soon. So you don't have any time for that to move. Okay? So we talked about some of the things that can affect the price of the call. We talked about hurricanes. We talked about recall notices. We talked about time to expiration. It's the same with stocks, okay? There are things that can greatly affect the price of a call option. One of those is the volatility of the stock. One of those is earnings reports. You know, what you notice if you're buying a call option, the price will spike right before the earnings report. Why is that? Well, what happens on earnings reports? The price tends to move, right? I mean, sometimes it'll jump. Sometimes it'll tank, but sometimes it will jump. So people are willing to pay a little bit higher premium, a little bit higher time value in order to possibly make a huge amount of money when that thing spikes. So if there's an earnings report coming, or if there's a news event coming out that you know about, you're going to pay a little bit more for that call option than you would just under normal circumstances. Let's see what else. I'm sure there's more. We talked about intrinsic value, which is the amount that the thing is in the money. We talked about expiration, near versus far. The closer you are to expiration, that is the front month, those are going to have less time value. The farther out you go, the back months, those are going to have more time value. We talked about exercising, but I also told you we don't want to exercise. Okay, here's the thing. Again, we're not trading stocks here. We are trading options. We're buying and selling the options. We're buying and selling the rain check. All right. If Home Depot, if we have the $75 call option and it expires in November and it's only July, and in July the underlying stock goes to 100, we paid $6.75 for that. Okay, remember, so it was times 100, $6.75 per contract share, so we paid $6.75 for it, $675. Now, let's say sometime in July the stock goes to 100. What's going to happen to the price of that call option? Well, let's look at it. If we were to exercise this call option when the stock is at 100, how much is that in the money? So we buy the stock for 75, we sell it for 100. That means on the shares alone, not counting the call price, we make $25 per contract share, which is $2,500. Not bad, right? Okay, that's how much it's in the money, It's $25 in the money in July. But what else is going on here? This call option doesn't expire for 4 months. You think that stock might go up even higher than $100 over the next 4 months? Maybe. Maybe. So what does that call option have? It has extrinsic value to cover that next 4 months. Now, there may be some sort of flurry going on with this stock. I don't know, you know. People might think it's going to go to 120. So they may be willing to pay a lot of time value, a lot for that extra value that they think the stock is going to go up. So if this contract, this call contract, may have an extrinsic value of, I don't know, $3, let's just say. Let's say it has $3 of extrinsic value, and it has $25 of intrinsic value. So if it has that much, you know that call option's worth at least 25 because that's how much it's in the money. So that call option is worth 25 for in the money plus $3 of time value. What's the price, the current price of that call option is $28. Okay? $28. What'd you pay for it? $6.75. Okay? Now, you're not going to exercise that call option and then sell the stock back into the market, because if you do that, you're not going to get this $3. Okay, so what you're going to do is sell the contract. You're going to sell the call contract. You're going to get the $25 plus the time value. So you're going to get that whole $28 for it. Not just the 25, but the 28 per contract share. So you are going to get $2,800. You've spent $675. I got to get my calculator out. You know I'm not good at the math. 2,800 minus 675 is 2125. That's how much you made. Okay, what's that percentage? 2125 is what you made, divided by the 675, divided by 675, that's 315%. And that was just 1 month. Okay? So we're not exercising these call options. We're buying the call option and then we're selling the call option. Okay, you sell it at the point where you think this thing's going to roll over. If you're one of these people that thinks it's going to go to 110, you might hold on to it and see what it does. Okay, that'll get you in trouble, by the way. Take your 300% and run, all right? But don't trade. Please don't trade. You know what? This information that I'm giving you is not enough. Not enough for you to go out and trade profitably. This is just for education. Don't trade. All right? That's what we're doing. We are buying and selling call options. We are not buying call options because we want to exercise them. We are not buying the call options because we want to own the stock for $75. We're buying the call option because we want to sell the call option for more than $675. That's why we're doing this. Okay? What else? Why do people want to do this? Well, one reason is right here. 315%. Yeah, I'll have that. All right. But look, it doesn't happen that often, you know. I mean, you really have to be good. Your timing, if you're going to trade call options for money, directional meaning you're buying it because you think the stock is going in a certain direction. This is a directional trade, just simply buying call options. There are ways that you can trade options that are non-directional, which means you make money whether it goes up a lot, up a little bit, or sideways. There are strategies where you can do that, and I can talk about those later if anyone's interested. All right. So why do people want to trade call options? Again, the percent return can be tremendous. Here's the other thing. They do it because maybe they don't want to risk that much money. Now, you've heard that trading options is risky, and it is. It is. But look, let's say there's a stock, Home Depot, that's going for $80 per share. Okay? You could buy the November 75 call for $6.75 per contract share. Now, if you want to control 100 shares of Home Depot stock, what's it going to cost you? If you buy the stock, you're going to have $8,000 in your account to buy those shares, because that's what it's selling for. That's the market price. It's around $80, okay? $8,000, that's what you need in your account. If that stock goes to $90 like you think it will, how much are you going to make? You sell it for $90, so you get $9,000 for those 100 shares. You paid $8,000. Okay, you make $1,000. $1,000 divided by what you paid is 12.5%. That's very respectable, by the way. That's awesome. 12.5% in 4 months? Okay. So you have to put down $8,000, which is kind of a lot, and you make a lower percentage, 12.5%. Whereas if you do this one, the November 75 call, you pay $675 for it. The stock goes to 90, which we discussed before, and you sell it for, I can't remember what it was, but the percentage that comes to mind is that you make 122%, okay? You make 122% on your $675. So you can either put down the $8,000 and make 12.5%, which is $1,000, or you can put in $675 and make 122%, which is a couple $100. Okay, this percent is much higher, and the risk here, I want to talk about risk. The risk is lower. Okay, how can I say the risk is lower? You can lose 100% of this. That's possible. It's possible because there's time value. If the stock goes down, it's really not hard to lose 100%. You could lose that whole $675. So your risk is $675. Your risk is that you're losing 100%. What's your risk here? Well, you know what your risk is there? It's $8,000. Okay, I know you don't think it's $8,000 because you think, well, okay, I have a stop loss in. You say it like that too. I have a stop loss in. I'm not going to lose all $8,000 because I have a stop loss order in. All right. Well, you know what? Crap happens. Your maximum loss on that stock really is $8,000. And I don't care if you have a stop loss in. Things can gap, you know. Things gap down. This thing, they could have a lawsuit. Home Depot could have a lawsuit come out against them because they sold generators that exploded and killed people. Maybe they're going to go bankrupt. I don't know. But their stock, you could wake up tomorrow and their stock will be at $40. How much have you lost? $4,000. Okay, overnight on one little bit of news. That's right. You can lose half easily on this. And if you had your stop loss order in at $77.50, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if it gaps down to $40 overnight on bad news or a lawsuit, you're not going to get $77.50 a share. You're going to get 40. All right? That's a lot. That's a lot to lose. So that's why people trade call options. The risk is actually the dollar amount. The dollar amount that you're risking is a lot lower. The probability, now that's a different thing, okay? The probability of you losing 100% of your call is much higher than your probability of losing 100% of the Home Depot stock. Okay, so these are things that you have to weigh and think about. What you definitely don't want to do is look at this and go, well, I can buy 100 shares of Home Depot stock at $80 and I could invest $8,000 in it. Or I could take that $8,000 and buy a bunch of these calls. $675, I could get 11. I could get 11 contracts. Yee! Whoops. I could get 11 contracts if I wanted to for that same amount of money. But then what's going on with your risk? Remember, the probability of losing 100% of your call is higher than your probability of losing 100% on the stock. So if you bought 11 of these things at $6.75, that would be $7,425. People do this all the time. They go, well, I want the leverage. I'm going to make this 122% on 74.25. I'm going to double my money. I'm going to end up with almost $15,000 when this goes to 90. So I'm just going to pile it all in there instead of getting the stock and making 12.5%, making $1,000. I'm going to buy 11 call contracts and make almost, I'm going to double my money, more than double my money. You know what? That doesn't happen. That does not happen. It doesn't. Trust me. If you are going to trade call contracts, if you're going to buy and sell call contracts, trade one contract. Okay, I'm begging you. Please. Please only buy one contract. Don't do this. Don't go get 11. Don't say, I'm going to put $8,000 in or $7,425 in, because you're going to lose it all. All right? You're going to lose it all. Don't do it. This video is long enough. I'm going to turn this one off, and I'll give you more later. Okay? Please don't trade. Please. I'm begging you. Go do something else. Go buy real estate. All right. That's enough. Be good. Have fun. Talk to you later.